free multimodal models are finally available in Flowise. After updating to the latest version of Flowise, you will notice that the chat Ollama node now contains this allow images upload toggle. So what is this and why would it be useful? Up to now, image processing was pretty much reserved for the flagship models by providers like OpenAI and Anthropic, and these obviously came at a cost. However, since the Llama 3.2 models were announced, which are free and open source models developed by Meta, you can now download and run multimodal models on your very own machine, which include vision capabilities. So in this video, we will have a look at 3 practical use cases for adding image support to your AI applications. This includes everything from extracting structured data from something like an invoice to having a conversation with an image, and of course adding image support to a multi-agent workflow without writing a single line of code. Let's begin. In order to run the Llama 3.2 vision model locally, we will be using a tool called Ollama. So head over to ollama.com and download Ollama for your operating system and simply install Ollama. From here, we can view all the available models within Ollama or search for a model. However, I can see Llama 3.2 Vision within this initial set of results, so I'll simply click on the model, and here we can view the available models by clicking on this drop down, and we will be using the 11 billion parameter model in this video. To download the model, all we have to do is copy this command, then open the command prompt or terminal and paste in that command. After pressing enter, the model will be downloaded to your machine, and afterwards you will be able to send a message. So once you've installed Ollama and downloaded the Llama 3.2 Vision model, we can now move on to Flowise. Let's start by creating a new chat flow. Let's call this something like invoice demo. So what I want to do here is build an application that can take in an image of an invoice and then extract certain information from that invoice. So for this example, I downloaded this PNG of an invoice, which contains all sorts of information like addresses, the line items, and the invoice total. To get started, let's click on Add Nodes, then let's click on Chains, and because we want to get a structured output back, I'm going to use the LLM Chain, because the LLM Chain node allows us to pass in an output parser, which will force the output into a JSON structure. We can now add our large language model. Let's go to Add Nodes, then under Chat Models, let's add the Chat Ollama node, and let's attach it to the LLM Chain. Now for the model name, let's enter Llama 3.2-Vision, and this is the same name that we can see on the Ollama website. Then enable allow image uploads. This simply means that when we open the chat window, we can now select images from our machine. We're not quite done yet though. Let's also add a prompt template. So under Add Nodes, let's go to Prompts and add the Prompt Template node. Then attach the prompt template to the LLM Chain. For the template, let's expand this, and this is quite simple. We can create a variable called input by passing a piece of text in between these curly braces. Then after we save this, we can click on Format Prompt Values and assign a value to this input, and what we'll do is we'll grab the question from the chat window. Great! We can already test this chat by going to the chat window and typing something like hello. And if we get a response back, it means the connection between Flowise and Ollama is working. What we can do now is select an image, like this image of a woman shrugging, and let's ask, what is the woman doing? And we can see the response streaming through, saying that the woman in the image appears to be shrugging her shoulders. Now, going back to the invoice example, we can use the LLM Chain to extract specific information from the invoice and return it in a structure like a JSON structure, which we can use downstream or from outside of Flowise altogether. This is extremely useful if you are building AI SaaS products. In order to respond with that JSON structure, we can go to Add Nodes, and let's open up output parsers. To keep things simple, I'll simply add the structured output parser. We can attach this to the LLM Chain. I am going to enable autofix, as I find that this does improve the results. And under additional parameters, let's clear these 2 example values. Let's then add our own item, and let's call this property invoice, total, amount. I'll simply set this as a type of string. And for the description, let's enter the total amount of the invoice in USD. I'll add another item. I'll call this one ship to address, which is also of type string, and a description of the ship to address of the invoice. So basically, I'm trying to extract this ship to address over here and the invoice total value. Let's close this. I'll save the chat flow, and finally I'm going to expand the chat window and upload the image, and I actually don't have to enter anything in the chat, as Flowise will use the structure within the structured output parser to generate the output for us. So I'll simply click on send and have a look at that. We got our JSON response back. We now have a reusable API that we can use to pass in invoices from an external application and extract any information that we want from those invoices. So without going into details on this, we can click on API endpoints and see the API endpoint for interacting with this flow, which means we can call that API from outside of Flowise and pass along the base 64 encoded version of that image. And when we run the service, we will actually get this JSON property back containing the exact JSON structure that we requested. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see a dedicated video on passing attachments to the Flowise APIs. Now, we don't have to use LLM chains. We can also build conversational assistants. So all we have to do is go to add nodes, then under chains, let's add a conversation chain. We can then also add our chat model by going to chat models and then adding the chat Ollama node. And let's attach it to our conversation chain. We can change the model name to Llama 3.2 vision, and we can enable allow image uploads. Finally, let's add memory to this chain by going to memory and adding the buffer memory node and attaching it to the chain as well. And that's all we have to do to build a conversational assistant that can chat with our images. Let's try this in the chat. Let's upload an image. So for this demo, I'm going to upload this thumbnail, and let's ask the assistant to describe this image for us. After uploading the thumbnail, let's enter, please describe this thumbnail. And the model was able to correctly describe the image, especially the character in the image, as well as the text like multi-stage RAG agents and FlowiseAI. So this can be very useful for building an assistant that can review designs like thumbnails and make recommendations. Because this is a conversational agent, you can simply click on additional parameters and add any additional information to the system message. For example, you could add some additional context here as to what would constitute a good thumbnail. Now let's take this thumbnail example to the next level by building a multi-agent flow. Let's go back to the dashboard, let's go to agent flows and then click on add new. Save this flow and give it a name, like thumbnail assistant, and let's save this. Let's go to add nodes, let's scroll down to sequential agents, and let's add a start node. For the chat model, let's go to chat models, and of course, we'll add the chat Ollama model, and we can attach it to the start node. Now, for the model name, I will not be using the vision model, as this is simply a text generation model at this point. We will add the vision model when we get to the vision part of this flow. For the model name, I will be using Llama 3.2 and the 3 billion parameter model. Of course, you can find that model on Ollama by simply searching for Llama 3.2, and we don't want the vision model, we actually want the normal Llama 3.2 model, and more specifically the 3 billion parameter model. So you can simply copy this command, and just like we did at the start of the video, you can open your command prompt and run that command to download Llama 3.2. And because this is not a vision model, you should not enable allow image uploads on this node. Again, we will get to that in a second. Let's also add memory to this agent. So under memory, let's add agent memory. We can leave the credentials blank as we will be using the SQLite database, but you can now also use Postgres or MySQL. So if you have selected one of those databases, then you might have to capture credentials. I'll simply use SQLite, and we can go ahead and attach the memory node to the start node. great. We will add 3 LLM nodes to this canvas. One for dealing with the thumbnail, a second for generating titles, and a third node that will review the contents of the thumbnail and select the best title for that thumbnail. So let's start with our thumbnail LLM. Within sequential agents, let's add the LLM node. Let's also attach the start node to the LLM node, and let's call this thumbnail. Now, this is something that I haven't covered in one of my previous videos on sequential agents, and that is the ability to attach a different chat model to this specific LLM node. By default, all of the agents and LLM nodes will inherit the chat model from the starting node. So it will be this model over here. But because we need this node to have image processing capabilities, we will be assigning a different chat model. Let's go to Add Nodes, then under Chat Models, let's add the Chat Ollama node, and I'll simply move it just above this LLM node, and I'll attach it to the LLM node as well. Now for this node, we will be using Llama 3.2 Vision, and we can enable Allow Image Uploads. So that now means that this specific node will have access to the vision capabilities of the Llama 3.2 Vision model. Now let's click on Additional Parameters, and for the system prompt, let's enter provide a detailed description of the contents of the provided image. That's all we have to do at this point. To test this, let's go to Add Nodes, and under Sequential Agents, let's add the End node, like so. Let's give this a spin. In the chat window, I'm going to select the thumbnail. I will simply use the same thumbnail again and then run this. And looking at the response, this is accurately describing the contents of that thumbnail. Now let's take this a step further. Let's say that we actually want the user to enter some brief description on what the video is about, and they will upload the thumbnail design. But we also want an LLM node to generate something like 5 or maybe 10 different title ideas for that video. So what we can do is add another LLM node to this flow. So let's go to Sequential Agents, and let's add the LLM node. Let's call this one Titles. Let's attach the thumbnail node to the LLM node. Let's click on Additional Parameters. Let's enter a system prompt of, based on the video description provided by the user, generate 5 title ideas. And within the human prompt, I'm going to provide a placeholder for the user's input, and I'll call it description. Let's also map the value by going to Format Prompt Values. For description, let's click on Edit. And let's select the user's message from the chat window. And let's close these pop-ups. Then let's add one more LLM node. So under Sequential Agents, let's add the LLM node. And let's call this one Summary. This node will be responsible for looking at the generated titles and recommending the best titles based on the description of the thumbnail. So let's attach titles to this summary node and the summary node to the end node. Let's click on Additional Parameters, and for the system prompt, let's enter, take the feedback from the thumbnail agent and the title agent and formulate a single response. Select the best title based on the description of the thumbnail. The title and thumbnail should complement each other. I'm going to save this, and within the human prompt, we can enter thumbnail description with a placeholder for thumbnail and titles with a variable for titles. I'm going to save this. We can then scroll down to Format Prompt Values, and for the thumbnail, we can select the output of this LLM node 0, and for titles, I'm going to select the output from LLM node 1. Now, if you were wondering where on earth I found those names, we can go to any node and we can click on Info, and here you will find that unique name for the node. So the thumbnail node was node 0, and this title node was LLM node 1. Now this should be it. Let's save this flow, and in the chat, I'm going to clear the chat and upload that thumbnail, and I'm going to enter a short description of what this video is about. Like, this video is a tutorial on creating multi-stage agentic agents using Ollama, Llama 3.2 and FlowiseAI. First, we get the response from the thumbnail agent, which accurately describes the contents of the thumbnail. Then, based on the user's description of the video, we get 5 different title ideas. Finally, the summary agent generated an enhanced version of the titles based on the content of the thumbnail. Let me know in the comments what you think about these Llama 3.2 models, as I'm absolutely loving them. And if you enjoyed this video, then you should definitely check out this other video where we use Llama 3.2 and FlowiseAI to build an advanced self-correcting RAG agent. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.